Hello, it's Jazz at Red Panda Reads, and today I want to talk to you about a book I absolutely fell in love with. And I actually saw it recommended on another YouTuber's channel, Jean's Bookish Thoughts. And that book is A Kind of Spark by Elle McNicoll. This book is incredible. It's advertised as a children's book, I think 9 to 12 years old, but I think everyone should read this book. It is so moving, so fun, and also it has taught me so much. And I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to say here that I think this book should be on the school syllabus. And the reason for this is it is the best kind of teaching resource I have ever had in a fictional format for teaching me about people who are autistic. And yeah, it's incredible. So I read this book in a day. That shows how incredible it is. I have not done that for ages. I just couldn't put it down. And what it's about a young 11-year-old girl called Addie who has just started a new year at school, and they're learning about women who were accused of being witches, and as a result were often killed. And Addie is autistic, and she decides that she thinks these women should be remembered because within her little Scottish village that she lives in, a lot of women were accused of being witches and killed. So she goes to the village elders, village council members, and petitions that there should be some sort of memorial for the women in this village who were killed for being witches. And as you can probably imagine, the village elders, council members, initially said, oh, no, we don't want a plaque about the women we've burnt. That's bad for tourism. And so what the book is about is it follows her during her school year and her challenges, not just her personal challenges that she experiences at school, but her challenge to try and get a memorial up to remember these women. And there's a few things, well, a lot I loved about this book. So firstly, the message within this book. So the big thing for Addie about these women who were accused of being witches is they were accused of being witches because they're different. And because Addie is autistic, she often feels different. And she's there thinking, if these women were killed for being different, how am I going to be treated in society? Because people say I'm different. And therefore kind of, yes, I'm not going to be burnt to death, but still I'm going to potentially be kind of penalised in society for who I am. And it's so moving, especially because you've got it from a perspective of an 11-year-old girl. And it's just wonderfully written. And the way it's taught me a lot about what it's like to be autistic. So for example, it talks a lot about sensory overload, and how in autism often sounds and smells and tastes can be a lot more intense, and therefore simple things suddenly, such as going to a lecture with blinding lights, can be a lot more difficult to deal with. And in addition to all the kind of everyday challenges that people who are not autistic have, you've got all these additional sensory things on top of it. And in the book it describes Addie's brain to be like a computer. So she's taking in all these different sensory informations and facts and figures, and at certain points it can all just be too much information, and her brain can kind of crash. So she has these kind of meltdowns. And I've looked into this book to see how it portrays autism, and it's actually written by a neurodivergent author, and it's been really well reviewed and says it's a really good representation of what it is it is like to be autistic. So I feel that if people from a younger age, so let's say children, the book this is aimed for, could learn more about autism and the autistic spectrum and kind of understand why people may behave in a certain way and what the people who are autistic might find more difficult, then I feel that the world would be a lot more accepting and better place. So read this book. And the other thing I wanted to say about this book is I love kind of a part of the blurb which says, "A kind of spark is a story about courage, friendship and what it means to be different." And that sums the book up in a nutshell. It has such fantastic relationships between Addie and her family and her friends and her class colleagues and her teachers. And some of those relationships are pretty horrible. Other of them are just so lovely. And yeah, it's such a moving book. I also love the front cover. I think it's really, really appealing. I love all the colours, and the more I look at it, the more things I see. Like there's sharks here, there's a tree, there's another shark there. I just think it's lovely as well. And the cover was designed by Kay Wilson, who's a London-based illustrator. So I love this book. I think you should read this book. It has taught me so much, and yeah, it's great. So thank you for watching my first book review. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, I've got no red pandas behind me. Wait a second. Oh, I feel before I go, I should tell you a quick red panda fact. And that is that red pandas are actually an endangered species. So there's less than 2,500 of them in the wild, and I think there's about 400 in captivity. But what's been really great to see in recent years is, in terms of the pandas in captivity, there's been quite a lot of breeding. I've actually seen a few baby pandas this year. There were some twins up in Birmingham, and they are so fluffy and they have such a cute waddle, and it is great to see that conservation efforts within zoos seem to be going really well. I am going to talk more about the conservation that's done, especially with the Red Panda Network in Nepal, in another of my videos, if I can get more red panda facts in. But yeah, look at its cute face. Okay, thank you for watching.